There. All right, Pilar, I think we're good.
All right, thank you, Shannon. So welcome to Successful Professional Development Strategies. If you don't know, my name is Pilar Huffman and I serve as the PD manager at Compton College, but I'm excited because I'm also a board member of 4CSD and I'm joined by my amazing team. And before we get started, I will ask my board members to please introduce yourselves as well.
Sure, I'll go ahead and start. Hi, everyone. My name is Shannon Krajewski. I'm the chair of the 4CSD board this year, and I work at Los Angeles Pearson College.
Hi, everyone. I am Corinne Ewing. I am the program coordinator for professional development at Shasta Community College, and I am the conference coordinator for 4CSD.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Christine Phillips. I'm the District Director of EEO Diversity and Professional Development at State Center Community College District, and this is my first year on the 4CSD board.
Thank you. So again, we will.
Fellow practitioners, my name's Chris Franz, and I run professional development at Glendale Community College, and I'm on the 4CSD exec board as a co-treasurer.
Thanks, Chris. And do we have anyone else here? All righty, we'll go on now to our next here. Shannon, before we get started, I'd just like to invite you to share a little bit more about 4CSD and what we do.
Yeah, absolutely. So maybe some thumbs up to all of you who have been to a 4CSD event, possibly our conference in the past. Just give us some emojis about that or some chat stuff about what you liked about being part of 4CSD. But for those of you who have not joined us, 4CSD is basically all the people in the California Community College system who do anything remotely related to professional development. So you might be faculty, you might be classified, you might be an administrator, you might serve faculty, staff, administrators, or all of them. You might be a DE coordinator or a professional development coordinator, or you might be on a committee of professional development committee at your college. You might be on a diversity committee or be a DE distance ed practitioner. So all of those people, anyone who offers any kind of professional learning, whether it's HR, trainings, any of those things, all the things, we're the people who work together because most of us are one or two at each college, and since they're people to kind of rely on, ask questions of, find support with, share best practices. That's our network, and that's our folks that we serve. And so we're really excited to have all of you join us today. Please feel free to introduce yourself in the chat. But we're glad that you're here. That's 4CSD.
Thank you, Shannon. So today is going to be a very interactive lunch and learn, meaning that even if you're not showing yourselves, we know that you're here, so we would like you to participate in an interactive way. Before we get started, I do want to take the time to give you space to think about some things that you are experiencing as an individual and, of course, as a professional PD practitioner. The Rose, Thorn, Bud check-in is just a way for us to really take time to assess what we're feeling and what we're experiencing and hopefully gather some of our thoughts. So I'd like to invite you to do so. If you have a pen and a paper, if you have something digital, whatever you have, and just take some time to focus in on yourself. Imagining a rose before you, I want you to think about some of the things that you're grateful for or that's happening for you in a positive way. That would be your rose. Next, I want you to think about things that may be budding in your life. What's something that you are looking forward to, something that's giving you hope or motivation or inspiration right now in this moment. And then lastly, a thorn. What is something that's a little bit agitating? Maybe it's a little annoying to you. You wish it would just stop, or simply just stressing you out. So think about that right now. If you're a Picasso, you can write out this beautiful rose before you, or you can just write them down simply. What's your rose? Something that's going good for you. You're grateful for it. Your bud. What are you looking forward to? And then lastly, your thorn. So I'll go first and I'll share out, and then I'll invite anyone here in this space to share out as well. So something I'm grateful for, of course, I'm grateful for my job and the opportunity to work with people, but I'm just most grateful for even this event today. It's pretty awesome to be with you all. Next, budding. I'll be honest, I'm happy that semester is almost over. I have one more week and I'm looking forward to it. And then lastly, the thorn. all the stress that comes with the semester ending. That's my thorn. A lot of people are wanting their flex credit information right now at the very last second, and I got to get that to them. So that is a thorn for me. Is there anyone in this space that'd like to share out their rose, bud, or thorn? Don't be afraid, PD practitioners. I know you're out there. You can just share one thing. All right, we're a little shy in this space. I'm not afraid to play a little game of call out the names. All right, so I see we have Ashley Birch.
Hello.
Hi.
Okay, I am super excited for this space as well. And also just coming off of a long weekend, I celebrated my anniversary with my girlfriend. So still riding that high. I do agree with you. The thorn is that the semester is ending, but that also means like there's so much to do in preparation. And what's budding is we have Classified Appreciation Week coming up. And so that's a fun time at our school.
Oh,
Thank
nice.
you.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing, Ashley. Ashley, I'm going to pass it to you now. You see these amazing names on this call. Just call out a name and let's see what's going on in their world.
Okay, Taisha?
Thanks, Ashley. I thought I'd make it easy. Let's see, my rose, I think I'm really grateful for my job and just the work that I get to do. This is the first time I've had a job where I feel like I'm completely in love with it and I truly have no complaints, and it feels very validating and fulfilling. The bud is Pride Month is a few days away, or tomorrow. So I'm super hyped about it because it's my favorite month of the year. I get to do all things gay. And my thorn, which is kind of weird because I'm just beating myself up, but I got approval to start collecting data for my dissertation. So I'm excited, but it's a thorn because I've been ABD since 2019. And so I keep beating myself up about that instead of just being okay with the fact that I've gotten here. So thank you for letting me share.
Thank you, Taisha. And now I'll give you, let's see, please choose someone. We'll choose one more person.
I'm going to go off camera and go with Scott Sandler.
We can hear you a little bit.
Oh, how about now?
A little bit better. It sounds like you're far away.
How about now?
Oh, perfect.
Okay. We just had a staff recognition day, and I was just looking around the room and thinking, I love my colleagues. I'm growing older with my colleagues. I've got, I think that's a rose for me. A bud is, I'm now the professional learning liaison on my campus, and I'm doing some good work, but I'm looking forward to evolving and learning more. That's one reason why I'm here. A thorn, we've got an equity committee, and kind of the leadership in the equity committee keeps changing. So we're not making the kind of progress I'd like to see. And so that's bothering me. So anyway, thanks for letting me share.
Thank you, Scott. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for everyone for sharing that information. And I invite you to utilize this in your spaces as you gain that interaction with other people virtually. The agenda for the day is straightforward. We're going to talk about our why, our strategies, and most importantly, our success. Although we're recording, I also want to inform you this is a safe space. So we're all here doing amazing work, and we're here to just share out and find out new ways that we can implement things in the roles that we have. So talking about our why, Shannon, I know that you've already discussed this, but this is just a reiteration to let you know that we are a collaborative learning community of people here. And so in doing this and the work that we're doing, we're bringing this webinar to you today to really take a deep dive into the work that's being done. It was already mentioned just a few moments ago that some of you have celebrations going on at your campus for classified professionals, for staff, employee recognition, all these amazing events. And these are some of the things that we'd like to share out and see how we can be even better in the roles that we serve in our institutions. And so again, 4CSD is just here to provide that space to give to everyone.
Those of you who enjoy what we do today, if you haven't been to our conference before, you absolutely have to come. It's going to be November 1st through 3rd. We'll be sending out additional information. Call for proposals is out. It's in Claremont again this year, and it's going to be unreal. We're kind of unconferencing everything and focusing on so many ways that we can celebrate being physically together and doing things that you can't do on webinars and other things. So we really hope you can join us if you've never been before, or if you've been before, it's worth coming to join us. And so stay tuned. Make sure I'll put our subscribe link in the chat to make sure that you're getting our emails, and hopefully we'll see you at the conference.
Thank you, Shannon. And Shannon, did you say for that conference, what's the date again, just in case they didn't hear it?
Yeah, it's November 1st through 3rd.
Yes. And she forgot to say it's the most amazing conference ever. So if you have never been, or even if you have, you got to come back. Okay. All right. So,
Oh, one more thing, and make sure you spread the word. Like, there's probably people on your campus you haven't thought about. Last year, one of our diversity committee chair came, and he was blown away. There were so many things for takeaways for him. So thinking outside of just whoever your primary PD contact is at your college, but really thinking broader, inviting those HR people that do training, inviting your DE coordinators, your diversity committee people, your PD committees, really to come and join us. It's going to be a fabulous time. So we look forward to having you there.
thanks, Shannon. And so now we're going to do what we like to do best at 4CSD, and that's have the team time. So this is where we have the space for everyone to share out the amazing work that's being done. And as you gather into these small groups through the breakout session now, I want you to consider having a team name. We want to make it fun. Also have a designated note taker. And the note taker, you'd be responsible to provide the information that's collected within your group to me directly. I'll have my email address there in the chat, as well as you're welcome to just do a text box and you can send that in an email, or you can also do a Word document, whatever you prefer, whatever's easiest for you, all right? And then lastly, a spokesperson. So who's going to share out when we come into this larger group back together? So 3 things: team name, note taker, and a spokesperson. And if we're in agreement, we're going to go ahead and start. Before we go into the breakout room, I do want to first pose the questions to you so that you know what we're going to be discussing. So first and foremost, it's all about you. And then your role on campus, and then your role within the California Community College system. So when we say it's all about you, I want you to think about your why and how are you currently developing yourself professionally? I believe Taisha mentioned you are working on collection of your dissertation research. Things like that can be noted, but also if you're going to any conferences, workshops, anything that you're doing, certifications, let's share out as a team here. Next, your role on your campus. How do you influence the professional development of employees at your institution? What are some of the things that you have going on for your team there on campus? And then lastly, how do you impact professional development within the system? So are there things that you're doing that you believe supports and impacts the system-wide professional development? We want to know. So for the next, we'll say 30, actually, I was gonna say 30 minutes, that's a long time. We'll give it about 15 minutes here to go into the small groups. Any questions about what's being asked of you? I do invite you to also take a screenshot of these questions so you'll have them there, and we'll also put it in the chat once you're in the room. We're good? All right, we're gonna go ahead and break it into 5 groups right now. Remember, have those team names. And I thank you for that. You came in, this was like a basketball game. Lavetta, are you here? You stepped away, Lavetta? Okay. You know, there's good conversation when you close a Zoom breakout room and people don't come back. Right? You all waited. It's amazing. I'm happy about that. But now I'm more excited to learn about the team names and the feedback from the teams. This is being recorded, but we do ask as you're sharing, remember you're going to share out with me by way of an email. So the first group who'd like to share with your team name and then share some of the themes of your discussion. It's open. The floor is open.
I can go first. If that's okay. Is that okay?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Hi, everybody. My name is Jen McCandless, and I am representing Team Newbies because most of the people on our team were pretty new to their role in professional development. And and I was like, I've been doing it for a while, but I still feel like a newbie. So always. So some of the things that is common themes, it's interesting because I didn't take notes because our note taker took notes. So I'm just going to try to remember some of the common themes. But first of all, Natalie did a great job of keeping us kind of on track, which was awesome. As far as developing ourselves professionally, I think that the big thing that I got out of it, which included for myself, is that we try to engage in professional development that, you know, we might eventually want to offer before we try to offer it, so that we know exactly what that thing is, whatever it is. And then as far as like role on campus, I liked that in our group we had somebody from classified professionals, a faculty member, and then somebody that I think that Ty is an administrator, but she oversees diversity, equity, and inclusion. Sorry, Ty, if I got that wrong. But she, you know, all of our roles on campus require, you know, learning, but also lots of collaboration, and that we value that collaboration. For myself, we recently hired Corinne into her role within the last year, and it's been amazing because now I have a partnership with somebody that's not faculty, so that we can sort of build things together. And then lastly, professional development within the system. Natalie did a great job of just, you know, talking up 4CSD and getting us all sort of excited about it, which was good. Like going to the conference and just, you know, the continual learning. Also, just within the system, I will say too that one of our members mentioned that, you know, and this goes back to the other, like developing ourselves professionally, but getting involved in statewide professional development offerings as well. So I think that's about it. Team, do you want to add anything? Good. Okay.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Team Newbies. Thank you for that. Who would like to go next? And I guess I can go. So I have room number 1 had David Powers, Mark, Nurit, and Chris.
So I'll go ahead and speak. We came up with the team name PD Rising. So we can thank Mirari for that one. You know, most of us we're you know, going to conferences and things of that nature. Some of us have other things going on, working on PhDs and whatnot. We didn't quite get to the third question very much, but you know, we're talking about our roles on campus and kind of what we're doing, and so that was kind of the extent of it.
Thank you, PD Rising. I'm kind of interested. So PD Rising, from that, within your roles on campus, was there anything specific that you all shared that you do or that you've done?
I don't remember this, and of course I don't have the notes in front of me, but
Okay, just
I
asking
wasn't
your
the note taker. Yeah.
Okay, your name's just cool. I saw Guardian of the Galaxies and it just made me think of like that sort of thing there.
Well, we were all kind of engaged, it seemed like, in a certain amount of consciousness raising, because the drift institutionally from what the community colleges used to be and what they are now, with 70% of the faculty being part-time, and yet it's acting as if it's still, you know, predominantly a full-time institution. And yet, you know, there's 70% of the faculty that isn't on campus, isn't really mostly engaged. I mean, a lot of people, in fact, we had one member that said she actually was more engaged when she was part-time, because actually she was on different campuses and there are lots of other things, lots of more things to do. But it's, you know, we're actually in a situation where we've almost drifted into a fraudulent claiming from the state of FTES, as if these are all being taught by, you know, fully compensated with professors with offices and office hours, and, you know, so it, you know, there's some questions there on what's being perpetrated on the state, what's being perpetrated on the students. And, you know, the equal pay for equal work laws are certainly being not adhered to, because the part-timers they make about a third per class of what the full-timers get. And so there's a lot of, you know, development and consciousness raising about the actual status of the people on the campus to do.
Thank you for sharing out, Mark. We appreciate that on behalf of your team. Next, I have room number 3. I believe Amberly, Dr. Ozzie, Patricia, and Susan.
Oh goodness, I guess I could speak. We didn't really get to that part of designating stuff, so I think Susan took notes, and I'll try to remember stuff that was said. I think we just decided to call ourselves the creators, although we kind of joked about calling it full release, because 3 of the 4 of us are in a unique position that we actually are almost, if not completely, full-time released in being in our positions, which is kind of we're finding is somewhat unique to the colleges, as a lot to operate with just PD committees. So we are actually designated coordinators, the 3 of the 4 of us. So, and we just talked about some of the different things that we're doing on campus. We also did not get to like the third part. We kind of just talked about who we were, what we were doing on campus, and some of the offerings that we were doing. So we all build out our professional development weeks, and we also are working on development for classified as well. We kind of had a discussion in regards to, I know at our college, we're launching a speaker series and trying to find unique ways to kind of put the money back in our professionals that are on our campus and allowing them to bring their outside knowledge into our campus as well in regards to professional development. And that's kind of been a tricky thing. I think the last gentleman spoke about it, the restrictions that we have, and how we're paying thousands of dollars for outside people. But like I said, we've got robust adjuncts and classifieds and stuff that are doing outside work, that are working on their PhDs and things like that, that are bringing in this new information. We're trying to find ways to give them the funding and the encouragement, and trying to bring that cohesiveness back to our campus of wanting people wanting to be in that room together again, because yes, a lot of people are doing remote things, or if they're not doing remote, they're choosing to do their professional development that way. So it's getting tricky to try to find how do we make those opportunities. And I know Patricia spoke to really kind of doing fun things in the professional development that they're doing. So it's not drudgery as they're going through that. So those were kind of some of the things that we were talking about. I was speaking to in like our PD week. We have a couple of days that we're kind of required to be on campus for like our convocation and our department meetings, and then also like our retreats, that we kind of scheduled those workshops to be in person, really trying to encourage and bring the people back to campus that way. So those are the few things. I don't know if Patricia and Susie want to jump in with anything else that I said, and Fazal, feel free to do so.
You did a fantastic job. I was just going to add one thing that I noticed in our conversation was how widely varying the number of required flex credit hours are for our faculty. So I heard 60 at yours. Is that right, Amber, like per academic year?
That was Patricia.
Oh,
That was
Patricia, I'm sorry.
30. Yeah, and ours was 36.
Yeah, ours is 30 for the academic year, so quite a range there.
Wow, thank you for sharing, the creators. That's awesome. And bringing attention to the flex credit hours is also interesting. Thank you for sharing, Susan. Next, we have room 4 with Jolene, Christine, Lavetta, Shannon, and Shook.
I took notes, so I think I'll start and then everyone can fill in. We had a really robust book discussion about all the books we're reading, and so we'll definitely send that to Pilar and put it in the community to share with everyone. But folks are applying for master's programs late in their career, which is awesome and exciting. Somebody's including the "what is your why" conversation in a lot of the meetings and events that they're holding on campus to really help people stay connected to that and set a tone for kind of mindset, which I think is really an easy takeaway that I loved. High impact. Some folks talked about moving back to higher education from for-profit to be more connected to purpose. And then lots of conversation too about how we're influencing PD on our campuses from serving on PD committees. Some of our folks are representing from that area. Some folks are developing a PD department /budget/program from scratch to colleges that have not had one ever, if not for a really long time. And just how critical it is to share resources across our districts and our across campuses and regions and 4CSD as well. So lots of great conversation, though we didn't come up with a name. We were too busy talking about all the books.
Thank you, Shannon. And so we have one more group, room number 5, Ashley, Cara, Scott, and Tyler.
I can share. I took some notes.
Okay.
Okay, so team name, I kind of stole it. We stole it from Lauren Service, who's dean at the College of Marin, and she's also affiliated with 3CSN. And during the pandemic, she said, we're trying to find our way. We are wayfinders. So we took that, the wayfinders. It felt like there were 2 strands happening, and one was about the need to take care of ourselves. Do we do a lot of hard work and there's a lot of inequities when it comes to pay. And so people were talking about, I need to look at the website all the time. I need to work on applications, working with advisors on my resume, reaching out for support, working on a master's degree, and just, I want to understand my contract better, the contract better, so that I can help others understand their contracts better. So advocating for ourselves and then sharing what we're learning along the way is a way to advocate for others. So that was one big strand of our conversation. Someone said, I want to keep my head down while advocating. Another strand was supporting our classified staff when it comes to professional learning. There's a lot of inequities when it comes to classified staff and professional learnings. There are barriers in terms of release time, parity, equity between classified staff and faculty. A lot of times we create professional learning opportunities, but classified staff need that time away from their desks. And so we need to figure out, ways to reach out to the managers, reach out to classified. So one of the folks, I think it was Ashley, maybe, I can't remember, but was talking about creating sessions where classified, we're leading, doing professional learning for other classified. So that was a big part of it, was trying to encourage more classified staff to attend PL, professional learning events, but really making sure that they have the opportunities to do it. So a lot of advocacy for classified staff and professional learning. That was another threat.
That is awesome. Thank you for sharing, Scott, on behalf of your team, the Wayfinders. I do want to give a little space for the very next set of questions. I know time is elapsing here. So now that we've shared out some of the things as it relates to our why, we want to talk more specifically as to what is being done. And it's already been mentioned by some of you, but I really want you to take the time to dive into specific things. So whether that be sessions, professional learning weeks, or even just programming, what and how our programs, techniques, and resources are what do you have? How are they being used as it relates to annual goals? Also campus goals, what professional development is required or is provided to employees? So I know there was a mention about different flex requirements, maybe mandatory professional learning opportunities for people. What are some of the things that are being done specifically on your campus? And then also think about how these things are influencing or supporting the goals of the chancellor's office. So the things that you're doing on your campus, do you have any diversity efforts, EEO efforts, anything like that? We want to share out and talk about specific strategies and resources that are being done on our individual campuses. So we'll take the next, again, 15 minutes to talk about this and then come out in a larger group. So we'll go back to the same groups that we were in. So starting now, if I can have you please go back to your breakout groups and I'll open the rooms. Hi, Spencer.
Hello.
Mhm. Were you in a breakout room or did you just join us?
I just joined.
Okay, awesome. No time like the present. We just finished our last breakout session, but that's okay. We're coming back for a group discussion as a collective, so you'll be able to listen.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
welcome.
I had a student that kind of went over the meeting time, so I appreciate that.
Oh, awesome. Well, thank you for joining us. We appreciate it. All right, so it looks like our teams are all back. I do want to invite whoever would like to speak to share. So I'm not going to call on the teams. You have your team names. Just feel free to share out what you learned as a collective in your groups.
I can start while it's fresh in my head. We are the Wayfinders. And so for annual goals, One Campus does Canvas PD trainings. And so they have multiple courses. It's self-paced, instructor-led, and then faculty can log on and do it when they need to do it. And then they said that faculty get stipends for all the trainings they complete, and then they receive certificates. I thought that was a really cool way for PD. I didn't ask, but my question would be, is it the same for classified, and can classified get the stipends? I know the answer is probably no, but that was a cool one. And then they said that they have GALT classes for Galveston. I know I'm gonna mess up that name. Sorry, it's their campus name. And then they did fire hose orientations, and that was like an all-in-one day training, but they're moving away from that into like week-long, 3 to 4 days long trainings and focusing on relationship building as part of the trainings now. Thank you, Scott, for putting that in the chat. And then a mentor program. They would like more support looking at data, maybe getting focus groups to get student voices instead of only quantitative data, and then invest in professional learning, looking at data and communicating out what it is that they're looking at. And then give an example of like hiring, like different departments advocating for hiring, and how smaller offices maybe weren't able to advocate as well, or if they didn't have data to advocate with, then they more lost out, but not because they didn't need the hiring necessarily. So like those are examples of why it's important. Professional develop required. When campus has no PD required for them to do. They offer flex days twice a year for faculty and classified, but they have department meetings during that same time. So then they're not able to attend those PDs. And then some challenges would be HR is not responsive in asking for professional development at the campus. And if your department meeting is, you're not able to go to them. And then another challenge is from the PD side on how to get experts to do the training without budget and meeting the needs of all of the folks on campus. Professional development is a challenge.
Thank you, Ashley and the Wayfinders. We're actually coming close to time. So as we talk about the strategies, there's one awesome opportunity that we all have throughout the system, and that's utilizing the Vision Resource Center. So I'd like to invite our very own Shannon to do a quick demo of the Vision Resource Center for everyone if you haven't utilized this yet.
Yeah, so I'll drop some links in the chat here. First, this is just going to be a link to the this is a link to the 4CSD page about the PD practitioners community. So this will give you all the other things, but let me just share screen real quick and show you how to find our community. Give me a thumbs up if you already know how to find our community, but you'll go to the Vision Resource Center. Everyone's main page is going to look different, but basically you'll just hover over communities, click on all communities, and any community that you see, you can join. So there may be some things in here that are really interesting to you anyway, outside of the one that I'm going to tell you about. But these are places, if you're not familiar, where you can find all kinds of information about specific topics. They're kind of live feed stuff. And so our PD practitioners community is on this person's third page, but you may need to find it on another page. They are alphabetical. And it's the CCC Professional Development Practitioners. So you'll click on that and you can just click Join Community. That's as easy as it is. And in here, we've got all kinds of links. This is basically for CFT's community, but it's for all PD practitioners, however you define that. It's open to anyone in the state. And there's some links here about events and things like that. But here's where the power of this goes. If you click on topics, here's all kinds of folders that you could post a topic, a question, comment, an idea, a facilitator. If you have amazing facilitators that you have brought to your campus, we want to know about them. Don't hoard them, please God. So let's say you just wanted to post about that. You can click on recommended facilitators here and create a posting and just tell us, we brought so-and-so and they were super awesome and you've got to bring them too. And this is a great place to find speakers. So if you don't know about somebody, but you want to know, you can see in here, people are posting about like, does anyone know a good source for this? Or how about, this topic, whatever. The community is as strong as all of us use it. The more we post in there and respond to each other's questions, the more popular that becomes. So that's our community. And there's a million topics in here that can be so useful. One of our team members just asked about, I'm a new PD coordinator and I'm just wondering what are some are resources. So there's a topic here, getting started as a PD and flex coordinator. So there's some basic information in here, but if there's something in here or something not in here that you want, let us know. I'll be loading in. 4CSD does a new practitioners kind of nuts and bolts presentation every year at the conference. We're not going to be doing it at the conference this year, but we will be doing it as a webinar and recording it and posting it in here. Probably it's going to happen late summer, early fall. So stay tuned for that, but I will post in here, if it's not already, the presentation materials from this past year. So for those of you who don't want to wait until then, you can grab it in here. So anyone familiar with this community or have questions about how to find it or any of that stuff? Does that seem doable? I've got a couple of other things to drop in the chat for you. Here's a tutorial on how to navigate that community in the Vision Resource Center. That might be helpful as well. So hopefully that's helpful. But what we'll do is when we have this recording, we'll post it in that community. We'll also, I'm volunteering us to take all the notes that people are doing and post it in the community as well. So that people can access some of the discussion and ideas. I know there were some things that people said that I was like, oh, I got to steal that. So we'll be posting in the community. So that's really our place, our repository for all the things that we're all talking about. But it's good if we use it. Yeah. You know, if we put the good things in there and share the ideas. And that can happen all year round. We don't have to wait for the conference to ask our colleagues. We don't have a listserv anymore. This is our listserv. This is where all the things reside. So I hope you join the community, post in it, and all the things. More questions? I see Jolene's got her hand up.
You can always count on me for questions. As a new person in the VRC, you always direct us, and when we have our PD questions, to the VRC and like post the question in VRC, but I'm so intimidated by it because it's shared but with the whole universe, it seems like. And I'm worried about like asking a question in the wrong area. So for the PD coordinators area, if I wanted to know more information about like, what are you all doing on your campus for your LGBTQ resources? How do I start? Like, where do I go for just like putting the question out there?
Perfect. I love that. And can we all just like acknowledge that Jolene is probably having the same experience a lot of you have, which is it's intimidating, but we're your people. There's only like 100 of us, 100, maybe 200 of us in the state. We need to know the questions. So please, please, please don't be intimidated. We're not going to mock you or whatever. And you can also edit your thing later. So if you don't write it the right way or whatever, don't be intimidated. So if you want to post something, all you would do is you would come in, find the closest relevant topic folder, right? So if you were going to ask about LGBTQ programming, it would probably be under DEIA. So you literally just click on that. Click create posting and create discussion. And you're just going to say, you know, seeking LGBTQIA+ programming ideas. Yeah. And then you just put it in here and you don't have to say your name and your email. You can put that in there, but we don't really want people emailing stuff because we want them all put it in here. Right. So you can attach stuff, you can say all the things, and, you can add tags if you want. When somebody told me that, I was like, I don't know what the hell a tag is. So for example, it might just be like, it's something that people might later search for. So you might want to add this one or whatever, and any tags that you want. Better to add existing tags than create new ones because it just gets really crazy, but that's pretty much it. You can add links, you can attach stuff, anything. If you do a great program, like, put it in here. Like we want to learn. We want to steal all these ideas. I want to steal your ideas. You're doing amazing stuff and I am drowning. Help. Put the stuff in here. We don't have to wait for the conference. We don't have to wait for an official presentation. We don't have to wait for, you know, somebody to say it's a promising practice. It's great. Put it in here. It's all the things. But you know, we've got to respond to each other too. So some of your colleges have a digest turned on where you automatically receive an email from the Vision Resource Center when a new post is in a community that you follow. Does anyone have that coming to them? You're like, oh, I get an email that says something is posted. If you don't have that happening right now, you should contact whoever your VRC point person is and tell them you want them to turn on the email digest. And if they say, I don't know what that is, send them to me because I can help them do that. I'm one of the Vision Resource Center ambassadors And we have a million trainings that are it literally is painfully so simple for them to for you. That helps us because who remembers, oh, it's Tuesday at 9, I should go into the Vision Resource Center and just see what's going on. Like, ain't nobody got time for that. So, you know, we want to turn those digests on so we get the notifications, but that has to happen at each district or college. So Sarah, I got you. Send me an email and I'll send you some resources. I see you in there. But yes, to Christine's point, we want to make sure that we're not posting on that main page. If you do it, it's not a big deal. But the difference between posting in a topic, like I said, and posting, if you come on the main page and you post right here, is you don't get as much flexibility with, you know, how you like, if you post on the main page, you don't get to write a title of your post. The title of your post is like the first 12 words you write, and then it's weird. But you can get it in there and then edit it if you want, but it is better to start as in a topic. If you don't know what to do, just click this create a post and it'll take you to the topic folders. But don't worry about doing it wrong. Don't worry about saying the wrong thing. Don't worry about saying hi, thanks in advance. Like, it's cool. Just tell us what you need or tell us what you know. Tell us the good things. Give us the good news. It's we will be grateful and thankful for all of the good things. Does that help? What other questions do people have about the community? There's so much power of all the ideas being in one place and not trickling through our emails, you know, it's pretty cool. I wanted to also say one of the things that we're going to be talking about as a board for 4CSD, our board doesn't even know this yet, but it was just brought to my attention last week, and I think we should do this. Let me know what you all think. Would it be useful if we did a workshop, a webinar where we hosted all the different organizations in the state that do professional development, and they just presented like what they do? Because honestly, between @ONE, 3CSN, 3C TechNet, LMNOP, QLMNOP, I don't know what the hell all these places do and how I can use the things. And I've been doing this 6 years and I'm the chair of the board and I still don't know what all these other organizations do. So if that would that be useful? I'm seeing laughing and nodding. So I'm hoping that means please, yes, because there's so many people doing great stuff and we don't all know it. So brought to you by 4CSD at some point, we're going to do that and record it so you can go back and listen to all the things. But man, Pilar, did I cover all the things? Because I just kind of went off.
You sure did. So it looks like we're going to wrap up, Shannon. If there are no questions, I do want to make sure that everyone comes back and visits us again at our next webinar. But also, we talked about our why. We shared out some strategies. Shannon showed us how to get to that very important community in the Vision Resource Center. But now I want us just to be grounded back into one important aspect of the work that we do. And you'll always hear this from me. It's you, it's us, it's us collectively as individuals, and making sure that we highlight our self-care. As many of you know, May is Mental Health Awareness Month. And so if you haven't thought about yourself today or throughout the course of this month, I want you to take that time to do so now. Please familiarize yourself with the self-care wheel. This is something that I advise people to do on a personal or professional level. In doing this, there are different components of who we are as individuals. And collectively in this work that we do, it's important that we maintain a focus on our self-care and our wellness. And to do that, you need to take time for yourself. So if you haven't ever meditated, suggest you try it. YouTube has all types of meditation. Maybe we can do that with you all next time we meet. But also take time to really focus in on what makes you happy, because what makes you happy is going to be shown in the work that you do for the student success as it relates to professional development. We do have 3 more minutes. If there's any other questions or suggestions that you have for us, please put it in the chat. Other than that, I do want to give space to other board members. Anything else you want to share out? We have work groups, Shannon. We didn't talk about those amazing work groups that we are looking to have people join.
Should do that. Do you want to do it? And I'll show it on the screen.
Yeah, sure. So we have a collection of 3 different work groups that are hosted by 4CSD. And we actually started this back in our last conference. We have our DEI work group, which I am the chair over, a coordinator over for that one. We also have our PD Flex and Title V work team, who Chris, Franz, and Natalie are over that coordination of that work group. And then we have our amazing EEO work team, which I know Christine is actively looking for participants in that very special, important work. So if you are interested, on our 4CSD webpage, you can simply go to work groups and you can contact us directly to let us know that you want to be a part of this amazing work. And we promise you it's fun. 4CSD is fun. You may not feel it now, but we like to eat, we like to party, we like to have fun. And so in the work that you do, you are supported. If you have any questions that you did not feel like sharing in this space, please email us directly or collectively. We're here to help you. Anything else, Shannon, you want to share out?
No, I think I'm good. I'm just replying to the chat, but if I can help anyone with anything related to buy-in for the VRC, just shoot me an email and I'm happy to help.
Are we on the
college-
mailing list automatically for being here? I mean, do we automatically start to get kept up to date with these things?
I hope that's our plan, but you can also go to the 4CSD site on the subscribe tab, which I'll drop that in the chat too. And make sure that we do ask a couple of questions just because we like to know like who's a flex coordinator, which just helps us tell the state what's going on, you know, whether you're faculty or classified, whatever. But yes, we will add you to our contact list, but you can still subscribe.
Thank you.